Lazy parents are making their kids fat.
What are you talking about?
Don't you know that obesity is a huge problem and parents are to blame?
Obesity is rising. Every year, more and more people are considered to be obese. According to Green, Riley, and Hargrove, obesity rates are dramatically higher than they were a generation ago. However, the obesity epidemic is no longer just affecting adults. Today, more than 23 million U.S. children and adolescents are either obese or overweight. According to the CDC, Center and Disease Control and Prevention, overweight and obesity are a result of a caloric imbalance. Too few calories expended for the amount of calories consumed. So, who is to blame for this epidemic? The blame is on inactive parents and their unhealthy habits. Parents must not realize that they have a huge influence on their children and that their behaviors influence the behaviors of their children. These images represent a large percent of adults who are lazy. Too lazy to walk their dog, too lazy to set the dinner table, too lazy to take the stairs, too lazy, too lazy. According to a study done by Haskell, taken from the Journal of American College of Sports Medicine, the recommended amount of exercise for the average adult is 30 minutes of moderate intensity activity 5 days a week, or 20 minutes of vigorous intensity activity 3 days a week. According to the CDC, about 50% of adults are meeting the recommended amount of physical activity guidelines set for them. The other 50% are not. They are lazy, inactive people who are contributing to this epidemic, many of them who are also parents. This lazy behavior is shaping the kids' future behaviors because laziness and inactivity is linked to obesity. So, how does this issue affect kinesiologists? If parents are failing to provide adequate exercise and teach their children the benefits of exercise, then they pass the responsibility on to the school system. Currently, California schools are required to provide 200 minutes of physical activity every 10 calendar days. According to Coates, more than half of California schools have failed to implement the 20-minute a day of physical activity that the state law requires. So if 50% of California schools are not providing physical activity to their students, and another 50% of adults who may also be parents to children are not providing this, what hope do our children have? Some will argue that the responsibility to teach children lifelong healthy habits, as well as make sure the children meet the daily requirement of physical activity, lies within the parent. It is said it lies with the parent because the apple does not fall far from the tree. Parents have a huge influence on kids and what they do. If parents are lazy, then their kids will be lazy. If their parents are physically active, then the kids will. Studies to explore the influences and motivations of children have identified parents to be the most influential. A study conducted by Francis Kremerick found that active children generally have active parents, and that these parents who instill a belief in value of athletic activity may exert a lasting effect on their children. But not everyone agrees. Some other reasons why people think kids are inactive is because PE in schools has been cut. According to Sanchez, grade school children spend a large portion of their day in school, giving educators a unique opportunity to influence lifelong habits. Some feel so strongly about the school's ability to combat obesity that an organization created a program that is helping to advocate to put PE programs back in our schools. Some people argue that parents' physical activity habits do not influence their children's habits. These people believe that a parent must only encourage physical activity to their children. Jago et al. Stated that all parents have to do to facilitate physical activity is to limit their television watching and promote outdoor free play in safe areas close to home. Others even argue that friendship is what our kids need to be active. In a present study, friendship played a major role in initiating activity among kids. Jago et al. Found that friendships initiated activity in sports through modeling, verbal encouragement, and because friends enjoyed playing together. They also found that when kids were part of several friendship groups, that physical activity maintenance was at its highest. I also believe that parents have the biggest influence on their children. Parents spend the most time with their children than anyone else. According to Dr. Oriel Sullivan, parents spend triple the amount of time with their children compared to a generation ago. So, if obesity has risen in the past generation and parents are spending more time with their kids compared to the last generation, then parents are to blame for the obesity epidemic. Reason number 2. Parents are their children's role models. Kids want to be like their parents, like mother like daughter, like father like son. A study done in Canada looked into homes